Babes, how we doing? Hope you had a good week. I literally saw this rendition of the reason Avatar's playing is I saw a concert last night with my girlfriend. We went and it was like nice. Everyone was dressed up. I was wearing Avatar shit because I was like, dude, we're seeing Avatar. And it was like an entire like movement of all three books, four books of Avatar, and it was excellent. Live band. Uh, it was really good. People were losing it. They ended it with the secret tunnel finale. It was fantastic. But that's not why we're here. We're here because of this fantastic chapter. Um, really, really good. Proving some stuff that I've been saying. I'm telling you, I've been saying this shit. But it's good. Stussy appears to be have killed in action. We don't even have a break next week, and this chapter bopped. This chapter was very, very good. We see all the vice admirals. Everybody's up. The foam has been wiped away from their faces, and they are meeting now in front of Saturn, who was kind of left on the island, which is interesting because now I'm wondering if this was something that Emu was going to do even before the end or even before it was released. Probably not, but that was his last straw if he let him escape. But if you looked at my last video, you'll see that I said Emu kind of stores all their powers. He is the puppeteer, and they're merely dancing on strings, all of the Goro say. And you very much see that in this chapter. What I do find interesting is he talks about, he's like, forget Elbaf, we're not going there. Like there seems like there's no point in going there, which I do find interesting. And I'd be down to get away from the government for a while, focus more on the pirate feuds that are going on in the New World. But we get this talk from him, and you see another reason why he was punished is because he took a chance. He's the defense science planet, and he was like, let's see what this robot's about. And the robot ended up biting him in the ass really bad. And his greed is what he was punished for. That and letting Joy Boy escape, aka Luffy. But it was something that he thought. And you see him kind of like going through these thoughts and seeing like, okay, maybe I made a mistake. He hits one of the vice admirals with his, with those buttes, just staring him down, just daggers at him, literally. And messes him up bad, hurts him real good. One of the first vice admirals I think that we've seen, and just kind of don't defy the top brass. Don't do it. Don't ask stupid questions about whether what Vegapunk said was true or not. York, once again, speaking of greed, plays right into what's the little one's name? Edison's hands, and frees Punk Records, which is actually really interesting because Punk Records is now flying around, and that's some information that I don't see any point in doing this unless there's a point later down the line of information that will help us in some way, shape, or form. So it's definitely interesting. The new Edison that's like forming is it's cool. It's all the Vegapunks put together, and they're just kind of floating up there with their boundless knowledge. We also see, and I just watched the episode of One Piece that the most recent one that was talking about the plans is attack the food storage, and then they had some other stuff. But you see the food storage starting to take effect on the world nobles. I mean, everyone's just greedy. This is the chapter of greed. This is just showing how ridiculous some of these people are. But they're starting to get a little upset with the food reserves, and things are starting to shake a little bit up top on the red line. The Room of Authority, we see Garland get in there. I don't think I called it out in the video. I might have a couple back. But Garland replacing Saturn was something that I theorized and I believed. But I thought that the other planets would kill Saturn. But Emu doing it, I guess, it looks like it makes more sense here. It's solid. But he is now the defense science warrior god, which is pretty cool. We see the demon spirits being lifted from Garcia, which we have to believe is something that's going to be placed into Garland. What Garland's powers are going to be from that, I'm not sure. But there's a couple interesting things about Garland being there. Is it the Holy Knights are kind of like the next to be picked in line for such a position? If they're lucky. I mean, this doesn't seem to happen hardly ever. So most of them probably don't. I don't know if there's some type of immunity or not immunity, immortality for them as well. I mean, there clearly is what the Goros say, or it might just have something to do with the powers that are bestowed upon them. But who's to say Emu split it only 5 ways and not like 12 ways, considering the other Holy Knights? So who's to say? I like how gruesome and intense it was. Saint Saturn just being ripped to shreds and really showing that he is just a shell of a human. I mean, he is a human. There is a skeleton there, but he let Joy Boy escape, and that's it. Somewhat merciless, but at the end of the day, I was talking shit about Saturn from the get-go. He deserved this. He deserved this. He really screwed the pooch, royally screwed it up. So he kind of deserves this pretty solidly. I mean, I don't even necessarily feel bad for him at all. Turn into a skeleton, as he should, and Garland taking his place. Garland obviously has a lot to do with the past. Him hunting on God's Valley during the game that they were playing theorized to somewhat be Shanks' dad. I don't really see a huge point to that right now, nor do I really see a huge point to important characters fighting up against the Gorosei, because it's just kind of like, well, if they're a piece of the whole, why not just fight the whole? Like, if you beat Emu, then they all are probably, they're going to crumble to dust, and then it doesn't really matter at that point. Their powers are gone. I do think something that my brother brought up that was really interesting was Katarina. So where does that play into now? She can now change into a Gorosei, but a Gorosei that's no longer one alive and two a part of the planets. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of ruse that's going to pull, but everyone who's probably in the know about the Gorosei is not going to be fooled by that. That can come to bite them in the butt later. It could maybe scare some people that don't know into showing or giving information possibly, but it doesn't really seem that way. That move seems to be a lot less powerful at this time. So Blackbeard might have missed out on that. But it does look like everything's ending. Punk Records being up in the air is cool. Another thing that they brought up that I thought was really interesting was the bridges. So the bridges that they've been building that we saw when Robin was teleported away by Kuma, those bridges are ginormous. It's just interesting to me, where are those going to go? Why do they really matter at the end of the day? Is it just connecting the world? You know what I'm thinking about? It's literally, it's the world government symbol, huh? So there's going to be like 4 islands of people where the center is like the red line, and then there's all the bridges doing the world government symbol. Those things seem to be out of the water a lot. Is it, how much did it raise? 200 feet? Is it 200 feet? I guess maybe. Just barely. But it looks like they're prepping to give people land. Which people, I'm not sure, and why they want to do that, why they want to split it up probably into 5 separate kingdoms or pieces of land, I'm not sure. But that's definitely something interesting to think about. Those bridges have been being built for 700 years. And then we get Dragon again, still talking. That's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. He's just talking. He's like, we need to figure this out before the small amount of habitable land is pressed upon us, which I think is literally going to be like 5 pieces of land, depending on how big they want them to be. The whole world's not even going to be close to being able to fit on there. And that, I mean, he's worried about the civilians. We don't really care too much about them because we're focused on the pirate side of things, the government side of things. But he's like, dude, if they don't have a place to live, they're going to be ripping off their faces, eating each other's legs. Like, it's going to be bad. And he's right. He's definitely right. And I think that that's going to start to go downhill real quick. So we'll see what we get next week, because I'm pumped. There is a chapter. We do not have another break. We should get back with the crew. We should hopefully be starting a new arc here, unless we're going to get something else with Blackbeard or Shanks or something, but I kind of doubt it. There's too many mysteries left, and we need to start this next arc quick, because One Piece ends in like 9 months or something like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the chapter as much as I did. Leave a like, sub. Yeah. If you have a chance to see Avatar in concert, she was lit. She was actually super cool. Have a good weekend. I'll catch you. Bye.